Greetings and salutations, viewers. I'm StarPrincessHLC, and welcome back to OZMAFIA. When I last left off, we were still kind of getting used to this whole familia thing. We're still kind of connecting with the Oz people. Axel seems to be very tsundere towards us lately. I'm not sure what to say of that. We did also try talking with Scarlet. It didn't really go very well. He's a pretty nice dude too. I'm pretty sure he's Pinocchio, but I'm not 100% sure. But, I guess we'll start talking to some other people about the group. I think I will try talking with you. Just try to branch out a little bit, kind of get to see all the other people around here. She was in Familia Boots territory now. I wonder if this is a place I shouldn't be entering. The scenery was so different from the Oz territory, it took her breath away. Armor-clad female knights were lined up in the plaza. Each held a long sword in hand. They stood so completely still, they almost seemed like statues. I wonder if they're going to do something. Hi! How you doing, Puss in Boots? Or Pashette, I should say. What? I just wandered over here. I don't really have a particular reason. Yes? Oh. I'm glad I look so foolish. Yeah. It's fine. I would never spy. I don't have any interest in your little feud. Is it okay to even tell me you're doing drills? That's fair. True. So, what do you do when you're doing drills? Okay, I'll watch. The knights all moved simultaneously in response to Pachette's orders. Fuka gasped in admiration at the spectacle. Oh. They're scary? The knights were almost too perfectly synchronized. It felt a little uncanny. Fuka opened her mouth but hesitated for a moment, unsure if it was something she should say. They're amazing, but kind of scary. Yeah, that's fair. We kind of want them to be scary. That is also very important, yeah. Preventative measures against what? Uh-huh. Interesting. So that's why you practice. Okay, that's fair. I'll go straight home. Take care. I like her outfit. I would wear that outfit. Seriously though, we're grasped her right hand with both of his. She could feel the warmth of his hands through his gloves. Can I have your hat? I want your hat. Oh, too close. She stiffened as he touched his hand to her cheek. Mr. Kyrie? What is it? I mean, your hand. I did not consent to this. Kyrie brought his hand to his mouth and pulled off his glove with his teeth. Oh. I didn't mean it like that. Dude, you're coming on way too strong. No! It seemed like the more she spoke, the more he misunderstood. How should I explain this? He smiled at her, who was visibly at a complete loss. Do you? I'm wondering, huh? Oh. Don't mess with a girl like that. Mess with me? Well, don't. Just no. 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 Just no. Okay? Like, teasing is one thing, but it's like, I don't know you. Where are we going? Oh, okay. We'll keep that a surprise for now. Where are we going? This place. No, never. I had no idea this place existed. Can I have your monocle? Concierge, eh? I'm Fuka. Familia Oz has been taking care of me. It's a pleasure to meet you. Fuka looked back and forth between their contrary expressions. Kyrie smiled at her confused countenance. Guys, stop doing this. Soon? What do you mean? Oh, Mr. Axel. She turned around as Axel approached. He seemed to be in quite a sour mood, shotgun in hand. Back. Back off. Even though it's Sunday? Uh-huh. Thank you for saving me. Axel started walking without waiting for her to respond. Okay. She paused to turn around and wave before she hurried after Axel. Goodbye, Mr. Kyrie, Mr. Man-boy. I'm just gonna call you MB. Kyrie gave her a little wave, keeping his hand close to his chest. MB sighed and began to speak. Hmm.
風花さんはイレギュラーな存在ですから、どのような未来を選ぶのかは私には想像できません。
Hmm.
今後が楽しみですね。マンボイ。俺は複雑です。
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if I feel comfortable about that. I wonder where we're going. If they were returning to Oz Mansion, surely they would have just taken the red brick road. Yet the road they walked along was paved with bricks of emerald, not red. Mr. Axel sure walks fast. He smoothly slipped through the crowds, not paying any mind to her chasing after him. We'll be separated at this rate. Mr. Axel, please wait. She smacked into Axel's back. She looked up at him, pouting, as she clutched her nose. Oh, hi. I didn't realize you had something on your face there. How you doing? That's my line. Why did you stop so suddenly? I did say that. Thank you for listening to me. Axel's gaze shifted from Fuka to his right hand. He didn't say a word, he just stared at it. What's wrong? I don't believe you. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, it kind of seems like he's slowed down a little. Is Mr. Axel trying to match my pace? He likes you, I think. Or there's more to this. I don't know. At the end of the Emerald Brick Road was a street not unlike those in the Oz territory. The houses had gently curving roofs. The smell of baked sweets hung in the air. I'm sure this must be another Familia's territory, but it's Sunday, so it must be okay to be here, right? Ooh, what did you find, huh? Those two were... Oh, it's Hansel and Gretel. Hansel was standing in the middle of the street, energetically peddling his wares. Gretel doesn't seem too excited. An orange carpet casually covered with bags of baked sweets was spread out at one corner of the street. Behind the sack sat Gretel, who, unlike Hansel, had a sour, decidedly unwelcoming expression unbecoming of a salesperson on her face. Yes, I learned their names at the meeting. Axel nodded slightly and approached Hansel. Fuka followed. Hi, guys! Gretel hastily stood up and hurried behind Hansel, clinging to his back. She glared at Axel and Fuka from behind her fellow carp regime. Robot, so he probably is the Tin Woodsman then. Since close enough to a robot, I suppose. Little girl, you are younger than me. Little girl? She's a suspicious little thing, isn't she? Which means... No. You're way too young for her, I think. Ooh. Okay. Which one should I pick? She crouched down in front of the sweets, clutching her knees as she tried to make a decision. Third from the right. Huh. While she hadn't been paying attention, Axel had crouched down beside her. He'd whispered into her ear quietly so that only she could hear him. Third from the right. Third from the right was 6 chocolate chip cookies in a clear bag tied up with a blue ribbon. Ooh, chocolate chip cookies. How about this one? Gretel wrapped the bag of cookies in paper before handing it to Hansel. Hansel held out his hand expectantly. Just shopping. Again, I'm pretty sure he has an interest in us. I mean, I'm pretty sure the majority of the OZMAFIA have an interest in us. Kyrie was quite obvious. Oh, certainly. Fuka reached out to take the bag of sweets. Before she could pull away, Hansel grabbed her hand. Of course he heard that. Of course I can, Mr. Hansel. Well, to be fair, you are also a lot younger than me. Then how about just Hansel? 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 Excuse me, I am still older than you. Exactly. Also, that parrot looks suspiciously angry. Within reason, of course. Yeah. She's just bakaing you up the storm. Yeah, I was gonna say, she doesn't seem to like me. Don't call me baby. Thanks. Fuka squeezed his hand back. Unlike Hansel, Gretel's gaze was icy cold. That's fair. Okay. What? Oh, you will? That is fair. Okay. Scarlet walked over to one of the houses and began clambering up a drain pipe. In the blink of an eye, Scarlet was on the roof, looking down at Axel and Fuka. I mean, that was kind of the whole point of her story, was that she didn't listen and strayed from the path and talked to strangers. So... Okay. No, baby. Goodbye, Hansel, Gretel. Oh. What's wrong with the nickname? She's a grouchy one. I'm not plotting anything, trust me. Feels a little strange to be walking side by side with Mr. Axel. Mr. Axel, are you intentionally slowing yourself down? Thank you. Oh. Huh? Other side? Oh, you mean Scarlet? Familia Grimm's Kappa Regime Scarlet was walking along the rooftops, keeping a fixed distance from Fuka and Axel. It's pretty amazing that Scarlet could walk like that while keeping an eye on us. Oh, is it bad if I'm seen? No, it really doesn't. I'm sorry. I know what he said, but maybe he really is doing it to be nice to me. Mr. Axel might be a really kind person after all. I was just thinking that you're a really nice person, Mr. Axel. Mr. Axel? Hee. Strange. Was there something strange about what I said? He stopped talking. Maybe I said something I shouldn't have. She cocked her head to the side, puzzled, but she couldn't figure out what she'd done wrong. It feels like such a waste to go home in silence. She looked around, trying to find a new conversation topic. Oh, that's right. Did Mr. Kamiya ask you to get these cookies? Was it Mr. Kyrie? Oh, right. I'm sorry. I'm not good at this. I just keep offending Mr. Axel. Ooh, huh? Now I want cookies. Oh, so we were getting it for him. Does that mean these are... He looked away and Fuka bit her tongue. Does that mean Mr. Axel wanted to eat them himself? Suddenly those simple cookies seem unusually special to her. Yes? A detour? Oh, okay. I can do detours. They made their way to a back alley bordered by Grimm Street on the other side and Oscar Wilde Street on the other. By the time they got there, the sky was already dyed a deep crimson. Scarlet had vanished without a trace. All they could hear was the sound of their footsteps. We're here. This is it. I'm sure this is where I first awoke. He told me to take him to the place where I first remember waking up. Axel just stared at the ground in silence. Mr. Axel? His words following the long silence made her blink. Do you know something I don't? Yes. But there was a sudden explosion. A shockwave erupted behind them, strong enough to make their hair fly back and pin their clothes to their bodies. That's a good question. Several figures were outlined in the white smoke. A familiar man stepped out from among them. Oh, it's you again. Hi. It's been a while. Mr. Caesar. Caesar snorted and unfastened another sword. He switched from wielding a single long sword to dual blades, pointing them both at Fuka. Axel raised his shotgun and moved between them to protect her. Outnumbered, there's only two of you. At Caesar's command, the other men charged forward. Axel snapped his gun into a firing position and pulled the trigger. He missed the man he'd been aiming for, but the blast chopped into the support of a nearby awning. Within seconds, it had collapsed into the alleyway, briefly stalling their attacker's advance. Huh? But Mr. Axel? By yourself? But... Oh dear. Once I get back to the plaza, I just follow the red brick road. Fuka was running just like she had on that fateful day, fleeing the exact same man from the exact same place. But unlike that fateful day, now she was familiar with the streets and people she passed. Even if she'd stayed, there was nothing she could have done in the situation. She'd have only made things harder for Axel. I have to tell someone. I have to let them know and soon. I'm sure Mr. Kamiya and the others will be able to do something. Mr. Kamiya! Mr. Curie, help!
どうした？またシーザーに追われてるのか？
He's not chasing me, but Mr. Axel! Mr. Caesar is after Mr. Axel!
先ほど聞こえた銃声はアクセルのものですか？
Yes, he said he'd hold him off so I could get away.
そいつは厄介だな。
ええ。まあ予定通り屋敷へ戻ることにしましょう。
You're going back? But what about Mr. Axel?
放っておいたってどうにかなりますよ。
But he was outnumbered. If we don't hurry,
そ
he'll...
うですか。ここまで被害が及んでいないということは検討しているようで何よりです。
Putting up a good fight?
幹部というのは捨て駒に過ぎませんし。
Wow. Mr.
お
Kamiya.
嬢さんには悪いが、俺もキリエと同意見だ。偵察は向かわせる。だから一緒に屋敷へ戻ってくれ。
I don't like that.
野良狼らしく森の中でおとなしくしていてくれればいいんですけどね。
They were in the office in the back of the mansion. They had spread a map out on top of the big table in the center of the room. Fuka and Kiri were sitting across the table from Karamiya.
偵察の話では路地裏にアクセルの姿はなかった。
Oh no. Was he kidnapped?
おそらくはこの森の中にでしょう。
Oh no.
地図の通り、この町は円形の壁に囲まれている。その壁の外にある森に住んでいるのがウォールフガングだ。
Oh
連
no.
れ去るなら森かスラム
Oh
街だ。
no. The
こ
slums?
の町に住んでいるすべての人がファミリーによる支配制度を受け入れているわけではないんです。非支配階級を嫌がる自由人のためにと作られたのがその灰色の地区。今では立派な犯罪者養成エリアですけどね。
I would say so, yeah.
俺たちの喧嘩相手はライバルファミリーだけじゃないってことだ。小競り合いの相手はスラム街出身のやつの方が多いしな。
Huh.
町自体に嫌気をさして出ていった人間で構成されている無法集団。それがシーザー率いるウォールフガングです。 もっともシーザー自身はどこからやってきたかは不明ですけどね。 シーザーの活動範囲を考えれば森が妥当でしょう。川や湖に沈められていなければ。
Yeah, let's hope he's not dead yet. Sleeping?
お嬢さんがいるんだ。言葉を慎めって。
Oh boy.
さて、飯でも食うかな。
You guys are so freaking casual about this. Kamiya rolled up the map and put it back on the table before standing and
お
stretching.
嬢さん、晩ご飯は何を食べたい？
Oh no, I think I'd like a nice helping of saving Axel!
私はカルボナーラがいいです。
お前はお嬢さんじゃねえだろ。
Fuka was deeply confused by how normal the two of them were acting. But what are we gonna do about Mr. Axel?
放置です。
Excuse me? Huh?
聞こえませんでしたか？放置すると言ったんです。
But isn't he an important part of the familia?
ええ、彼はオズファミリーの幹部です。客人であるあなたを守ったことも評価します。しかし、それとこれとは別です。
Do you feel the same way, Mr. Kamiya?
アクセルの問題は俺たちファミリーの問題だ。
I
お嬢さん
mean,
が胸を痛める。
I think he was doing it to protect me, so
あいつのことはひとまず忘れてくれ。
how could I? I think I'm going to go back to my room.
ご飯は？
I'm not hungry.
分かった。お嬢さんの分は取り分けておくから腹が減った時にでも食べてくれ。
Her stomach grumbled the moment she made it back to her room. I guess this is what they call playing the martyr. But I can't eat at a time like this. I just can't forget about Mr. Axel. She took off her shoes and lay on the bed. Huh? Feeling something underneath her, she sat back up. Oh, Mr. Axel's cookies. She'd forgotten she had them. Both the wrapping and the cookies inside had been crushed. I bet Mr. Axel is hungry. Why do Mr. Kami and Mr. Curie talk about Mr. Axel like that? She was perplexed and saddened by how they were so much colder and less kind to him than they were to her. If only I hadn't been there. Mr. Axel wouldn't be... She gulped as a vortex of guilt engulfed her. Mr. Caesar was chasing me after all. I wonder if I can save Mr. Axel if I go to Mr. Caesar's camp. She shook her head, trying to shed her anxiety that Axel might already be. If I could save Mr. Axel, then I should go find Mr. Caesar. Well then. I think that's a good enough place to stop and save. So what's gonna happen next? We gotta go save Axel. We gotta go talk to Caesar. What are we gonna do? Can we actually help him? Is it even worth trying to help him? Maybe he's already saved himself. I don't even know. I guess we'll find out in the next episode. But for now, this is StarPrincessHLC saying thank you very much for watching, and have a fond farewell.